This photograph almost erased human civilization. And most people have never seen it. It's October 1962. The Cold War has the entire world on ice. The United States and the Soviet Union are locked in a standoff, two global superpowers that don't trust each other, don't speak honestly. And both possess nuclear arsenals powerful enough to wipe out all life on Earth. It's a fragile, terrifying peace held together by the threat of mutually assured destruction. But on one seemingly ordinary morning, everything changes. A U-2 spy plane, a technological marvel, soars high above the island of Cuba. The pilot is so high up, he can see the curvature of the Earth. Down below, he can't make out faces or cars, only shapes and patterns on the ground. He takes his photographs and returns to base, unaware that the images captured on his film are about to push the world to the brink of annihilation. Back in a secure facility in the United States, the film is developed. When American intelligence analysts lay the photos out on a light table, their blood runs cold. There, clear as day on the Cuban landscape, are long, thin objects. They're perfectly aligned. Surrounding them is a web of support trucks, cabling, and launch equipment. There's no mistaking what they are. These are Soviet nuclear missiles, but they're not in Russia. They're not thousands of miles away in Eastern Europe. They are 90 miles from the coast of Florida, 90 miles. That's a shorter distance than a drive from New York City to Philadelphia. From this position, these missiles could strike Washington, D.C., New York City, Chicago, and almost every major city in the eastern United States. And they could do it in minutes. There would be no warning. No time to scramble jets or sound the alarms, no time to respond, no chance to stop it. When these photographs finally reach the desk of President John F. Kennedy in the Oval Office, he doesn't speak at first. He just stares at them, the weight of the world suddenly on his shoulders. Because he understands something utterly terrifying. If these missiles become operational, the global balance of power is over. The standoff that has kept the world from nuclear war would be broken. The Soviet Union would have a nuclear gun pointed directly at America's head. This is worse than Pearl Harbor. At least, with Pearl Harbor, you could see the planes coming. You could fight back. But these missiles? They would arrive before anyone even knew a war had started. Millions of lives would be extinguished in a flash of light, and the public knows absolutely nothing. There are no headlines in the newspapers, no breaking news reports on the radio, no frantic posts on social media, because it doesn't exist yet. The world is going about its day, people are commuting to work, kids are in school, families are eating dinner, all while standing unknowingly on the very edge of extinction. Inside the White House, the atmosphere is electric with fear and tension. Kennedy immediately forms a secret group of his most trusted advisors. It's called the Executive Committee of the National Security Council, or EXCOM for short. Only a handful of men are allowed inside the cabinet room. The doors are closed. The secret is contained. And what they debate over the next few hours and days will decide the fate of all humanity. The voices in the room are divided, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Some of the top military generals, men who have spent their entire lives preparing for war, argue for immediate, decisive action. Bomb Cuba now, they say. Destroy the missiles on their launch pads before they can be used. We have to act now, while we still have the element of surprise. Others go even further, advocating for a full-scale invasion of Cuba. We have to remove the threat completely, they insist. Take the island, topple Castro, and rip out the Soviet presence by the roots. But Kennedy hesitates. He listens to his generals, but a cold dread fills him, because he understands the one thing that some of them don't want to say out loud. The terrifying, logical conclusion to their plans. An attack on Cuba, a Soviet ally, means war with the Soviet Union. And in 1962, a war between the superpowers means only one thing: nuclear war. And nuclear war means the end of civilization as we know it. Not just America, not just Russia, but the entire world, plunged into a radioactive winter from which it might never recover. And while they argue, while they debate the unthinkable inside the bubble of the White House, the missiles are still there. In the warm Cuban sun, Soviet technicians are working around the clock. They are fueling the rockets. They are preparing the warheads. They are getting closer and closer to being launch-ready with every passing hour. The clock has started ticking on a countdown to doomsday. And the world doesn't even know it. Next time on 13 Days to Armageddon, we'll dive into the heart of the crisis. We'll uncover just how terrifyingly close these missiles really were to being launched. We'll explore why the United States, for all its power, had almost no effective defense against a first strike. And we'll see how a single mistake, a single miscalculation by one man, could have resulted in the deaths of hundreds of millions of people. Because once these missiles went live, there was no going back. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it.